Hello, this is Stephen Trials, TeamFairness.com. I grew up in the LDS religion, and their doctrine was such that they believed that if Satan won, you would have no free agency. So it's the determinism. And if Jesus wins, oh, by the way, they're brothers. And the ones that went with Satan, they don't get a body. And the ones that went with Christ have bodies. And there's a third that went with Satan. So if Satan wins, then it's determinism. And so like super determinism from in this world of science. And so a lot of the Mormons will have a problem with anything that is about determinism. They'll recoil from that because it means Satan. That's how I thought when I was younger. So I've had dreams where I'm the Christ, and I've had dreams where I am Baphomet. So I'm both. So now what? See, one or the other doesn't win. They both win because it's going to be me that wins. And, you know, if I have my way, that's what's going to happen. Now, these are just mythological characters. And I'm supposed to figure all this out. That's what I'm speculating, but I know there's something giving me precognitive dreams like every night. Two events happened today that I can remember of. That one was about seeing a naked woman, and there's like a round mirror or a window, and then a voice said, "Steve, don't," like that. And so I'm doing my clothes today. And there's like a reflection off of the dryer, got the circle, and the image in the dryer was an attractive young woman, clothed. But it reminded me of the dream. And then another young woman, I heard her inside my mind say, "Steve, don't." Just like I dreamed. Telling me not to look at her. So I'm trying to figure all this out. Now, also in the Mormon Church, there's the Book of Abraham that Joseph Smith wrote from Egyptian hieroglyphics before we had the Rosetta Stone to know what they actually meant. And it's this story about the Council of the Gods, and they live at the closest place to God is Kolob, the star or the planet. Kolob, and it's the closest place to God. And a council of gods, not one God, a council of the gods created the earth. So if you change the word to manage, and they're extraterrestrials, and they're the closest to truth and fairness, power, the most powerful, the closest to God having all power, and we don't think there is one. See, the book says there's a group of gods, so the Mormons argue about that sometimes. There's a source of power that's one source of power that I don't think it had a brain in the first place. It didn't have a mind in the first place. I might be wrong. See, this is not what's important. Let's put this mythology, this religious stuff aside, put it aside, and get the World Fairness Agreement implemented so that we're stopping all these unnecessary deaths and all this poverty and all this crime and man fighting against man and woman fighting, you know. Yeah, there's the battle of males versus females going on too. So we all count the same. We're created equal. I like that about the Constitution. We are treated equally. all of us. And we're ruled by law, so we want the law of fairness to be the primary law of all laws, and then we'll correct all the other laws. And once we get the World Fairness Agreement, we can put an amendment to the Constitution directing it to this type of thinking, World Fairness Agreement thinking, fairness thinking. We have the right to not be done wrong. Isn't that nice? And so we won't call it globalism. We'll call it something else, so that they don't have a problem with, they don't like globalism, but there's another word that they don't have a problem with. I don't want to think of it. I'm not going to go into that right now. Utopia. They have a problem with utopia. Utopia is fiction. It was written in a fiction, in a book that's fiction. There's no place really, never. It's fiction. And they have a problem with utopia. They have a problem with ideas that would make the world a better place, where everybody has a good life. So there's these hang-ups, like we can't have determinism because it means Satan. Not if it's both. It's both free will and it's also super determined. And so I made a video the other day, how why not have, I'm working with my spirit guide on this, and she says they do intervene and they change the super determinism by our choices. So it's like maybe it's only once in a while they change the main track of super determinism, and you feel something strange going on, and they change the super determinism. They tweak it a little bit, and it's from our choices that it gets tweaked. So it's kind of like Never-Ending Story. We're battling for control of the future. Toy Story had the Unimind, same theme in that. There's several ideas where we're battling for the power on the planet. Well, just in our ordinary human tribal warfare and empires trying to destroy and take over all the land into their empire, that's what we have going on today in Israel and in the Ukraine. And there's been genocide all over the place. When the Europeans got to the Americas, it was genocide to the Native Americans. 50 million people, 50 million indigenous Americans were killed in that genocide of manifest destiny. They claim that God wants Christian religion to take over. Everybody's supposed to be on one knee, you know. I'm not a Christian. I'm an atheist. And we can argue. I hear a lot, don't argue. Let's argue. We argue with fact. And we use the 1 minute method. So I get 1 minute to say my piece, and then it's your turn. And I don't interrupt you, and you don't interrupt me. We can involve other people in the group, and then other groups, so we can get this going all across the country, like is suggested on teamfairness.com. So, in the book of Abraham, where he's talking about extraterrestrials and a group of people managing the planet, and that's what I'm getting directly from my spirit guides. And also, the war in heaven. They told me that there's a war against the aliens that are trying to maintain control of the planet. And they're going to stop, and I have to guide them. I was in the role of Baphomet or Christ or somebody. My group of people, we took over the mothership. It was a huge UFO, and it was like an upload into the UFO from our group, from our minds, and our minds took control of the ship. And it's like, I know I'm directed by a greater power than the UFO people. So people are talking about how there's like these reptiles, there's Norse or Scandinavian or whatever. There's like insect kinds. I don't think so. They can appear any way they want to appear. And they don't have bodies. Just like the Mormons told me. This came from the Bible, I think, didn't it? They don't have physical bodies. So they're demons that affect our mind. That's the controlling aliens. They use fear. They use bribery. If you'll let them run the show, they'll get you rich. They'll get you a girl. So, or a man if you're a woman, or whatever if you're whatever. You know, I don't have anything against whatever. But I'm not whatever. I'm like asexual. No sex feelings, please, none. I'm trying to fast from that. But then it's like, I think maybe they need that. So if something's turning me on, it's like I don't have any desire in it. It's like I know it's happening and I'm not responding on it, and it's like, thanks but no thanks. So we have this people thinking the aliens are in these different forms like grays. That's dream stuff. That's stuff of the dreams, like me being Christ and Baphomet. That's dream stuff. So, actually, the ones that are controlling us, for what I've been told, from dreams. They give me dreams and it happens in the future. People tell me those are not dreams, Steve. Whatever. They can appear any way they want because they're creating a hallucination in your mind. So 20 people could see a UFO, make these fast maneuvers. It might be a hallucination. It might just be in their mind. Nothing physical out there. What about the radar screens? Well, they manipulate electrons. Just a little bit of tweak on the radar screen, and they can record the feed of the radar. That's a lot easier than creating a 4,000-ton object in the sky, manipulating so much energy that they can make material. See what I mean? It's a lot more efficient to just tweak our brain and a few electrons on a computer. Like I'm using my smartphone and it's telling me messages when I'm talking, and it's typing the text, and it types this stuff that I didn't say, and there's nobody around that's anywhere near what it says that I said. It's telling me that it recorded sound that said that. There was no sound that said that. They tweaked it. They tweaked the smartphone. See what I'm saying? That's pretty simple. You just have to be real skilled with computers, and you don't do much actual energy transference. So they can manifest from the 0 point here and there, and they're not local. They're non-local beings. They don't live at a specific place anymore. They're just everywhere, like the air's everywhere on the surface of the earth. So I don't hear other people explaining this. I am. I'm explaining it. Love you. Have a great day.